What's up, peoples? It's me, Rez, this time, and welcome back to Crafted Rides. As you could see a few moments ago, we just got hit by a beautiful snowstorm, but that's not a problem at all, because behind me you can see the Tesla that we've been working on. Of course, we've done a bit more than we showed you, but don't worry, we will show you everything in just a bit. But before that, I would like to answer you some questions, like how the hell did this car even got here? So this beauty started its journey in America, where unfortunately it got crashed and then put into the auction. Of course, we won that auction, and then we shipped this car through Atlantic Ocean, Baltic Sea, all the way to the Lithuania. And that's why Jonas was so excited to see that this car had 50% battery still in there, because it's really common for Teslas to because it's pretty common for the Teslas to arrive completely dead. Otherwise, the whole shipping process was completely fine and pretty smooth. I also have prepared a treat for you, because I have the original footage of the crash. Yikes, am I right? Well, you don't have to worry. No one got hurt in that crash, so everything is fine. So before moving into the repairs, I would like to bring you up to date with what we have done to this car so far. So in the previous video, you could see that we managed to remove the front fender to gain access to some suspension parts. We also managed to tackle the curtain airbags and the steering wheel airbag, which was quite easy to replace. So now we can finally start doing the repairs.
Okay, so in this video, we're going to remove all the remaining airbags from the car's interior. We'll start by removing the side panels to access the seat belts. Next, we'll remove the seatbelt pretensioner, and then we'll take out the driver's seat to access the seat airbag. Since the seat cover needs to be stitched, we'll remove it from the seat as well. One major task ahead is removing the front dash panel, which is very time-consuming. You'll see how it goes in the video. After that, we'll move on to the exterior and remove the damaged front doors. Finally, we'll take off the front bumper and see what's underneath it. So let's get these jobs done. As you can see, we're working on removing the side pillar, starting with the carpet. Which came off really easily. However, we encountered some difficulties with the side pillar. The manual instructed us to remove the bottom black part, but unfortunately we managed to break some clips that were holding it. Later, we realized that it's actually easier to remove the entire pillar at once to avoid breaking the clips. Something that seems obvious now when the job is done. It's a lesson for the next time. Fortunately, the damage isn't significant and can be repaired with some epoxy. Moving on, the other side was removed much faster. Once the pillar is removed, the next step is to unbolt the seatbelt and unplug the wiring. We have already removed the seatbelt, so now we need to remove the seatbelt pretensioner. The pretensioner is a safety device that activates during an accident to prevent the seat belt from extending further. It works by rapidly retracting the seat belt, removing any slack, and firmly securing the occupant in their seat. This ensures that the occupant is positioned correctly for the subsequent deployment of the airbag, reducing the risk of injury. Now, let's move on to the driver's seat. To start, we need to unbolt 4 bolts securing the seat to the car. First, we unbolted 2 bolts from the back of the seat, then pushed the seat backward and unbolted 2 remaining bolts. Then, we removed the headrest, unplugged all the wiring that is underneath the seat, and simply removed the seat from the car. So since we have successfully removed the seat from the car, we can now start working on the seat cover. First, we took off the plastic cover, which was held by a few clips in the headrest that we removed earlier. Now it's time to tackle the seat airbag. It's secured by 2 nuts that need to be unscrewed. The airbag is contained within a bag that's integrated into the seat cover. Now we have removed both the airbag and the seat cover together. Now, let's tackle the hardest part of the day, removing the front dash panel. We started by taking off a small cover that holds a temperature sensor and a LAN cable. Next, we removed the phone charger, which was secured by just a few clips, a quick pull, and it popped right out. The real challenge came with removing the 2 bolts holding the screen in place. It took us nearly half an hour to get them out. Once the screen was finally off, we could move on to the main panel. We carefully popped out those white parts, as they were only held by a few clips, and then we unscrewed every screw securing the panel. To protect the wooden finish of the panel, we applied some tape beforehand. Finally, To remove the panel, we have to pull and lift it simultaneously. And that did the trick.
These need to be replaced, you see? The connectors are blown. They are not possible to open because they are deformed. So we'll need to cut them and then install new ones.
Now that the panel is off the car, the next step is to transfer the instrument cluster display, which shows the speed and other driving information, to the new panel. Once the display is securely in place, we move on to the panel's airbag. This is a critical safety component that deploys during an impact to protect the passengers. For now, we have mounted the new airbag onto the panel with screws, securing it in its proper position. Since the front windshield needs to be replaced, we also need to remove the existing cameras. First, we take off the small cover, pull the mirror downwards to detach it, and then remove the larger cover that houses the cameras. Now, with the cameras out of the way, the only step left before replacing the windshield is to remove the windshield wipers. This is straightforward. Just unscrew two nuts and carefully lift the wipers off. And now comes the big moment, replacing the old, cracked windshield. Our partners from Stiklo Ekspertai took over at this point. They made the process look easy, but we didn't want to risk doing it ourselves. After all, one wrong move could damage the windshield, and replacing it would cost a fortune. Once the new windshield was installed and looking shiny and pristine, we could finally reinstall the new panel. Putting it back is much simpler than taking it out. You just slide it into place, tighten all the screws, and you're done. Next, we moved on to the doors. Removing the doors themselves wasn't too difficult. It's mostly a matter of unscrewing the bolts that hold them in place. However, dismantling them turned out to be much more time-consuming than we anticipated. These doors has an intricate network of wires, connectors, and mechanisms, including the locks, window regulators, and speakers. We had to carefully trace and disconnect each component, making sure we didn't damage anything in the process. This took a lot of patience and precision, but it was crucial for ensuring that everything could be properly installed later. With the doors out of the way, the front bumper was next. The first step was removing the front aero shield, which serves a protective barrier against dirt and debris from the road. It was secured with multiple screws and clips, and while not overly complicated, it required some effort to get it off without breaking the clips.
The air shield is damaged too. You can see a few cracks here, and it is missing all the side. So we gotta replace this one as well. Everything looks in perfect condition.
Once the aero shield was out, we turned our attention to the bumper itself.
So everything looks flawless here. We have a little crack here, and on the other side as well. We have broken this thing. The bumper beam is all okay. Everything here is also perfect. So only all these parts. Now we're gonna move on to these control arms. They're all bent, so we're gonna replace them with brand new ones. So let's get to work.
And just like that, we're one step closer to completing the project.
What's up, peoples? Glad to see you again. And like in the last episode, I would like to review the costs and all the parts we managed to cover in this video. So let's go. Alright, so after watching this video, you could see that we managed to cover exactly 10 new parts. And after sourcing them, the costs add up to approximately 6,700 euros. So if you add the cost from the previous episode, you can see that total comes just above 13,000 euros. Damn, it's getting expensive.
Yes, it is. But you know, I think it's kind of worth it. And you know what else is kind of worth it?
Hitting that like and subscribe button for the new exciting stuff. See you in the next one.